yesterday, mutton today, and blimey if it don't look like mutton again tomorrow, said one of the trolls.
Never a blinking bit of man flesh have we had for long enough, said a second. What the hell William was a-thinking of to bring us into these parts at all beats me.
William choked. Shut your mouth, he said, as soon as he could. You can't expect folk to stop here forever just to be et by you and Bert. You've had a village and a half between you since we came down from the mountains. How much more do you want? After hearing all this, Bilbo thought he must do something at once. He should have gone back quietly and warned his friends, but he decided to do a bit of good, quick burgling. He could not go straight back to Thorin and company empty-handed. So, at last, he crept behind a tree just behind William, plucked up courage, and put his little hand in William's enormous pocket. There was a purse in it, as big as a bag to Bilbo. Ah, this is a beginning. It was. William turned round at once and grabbed Bilbo by the neck before he could duck behind the tree. Blimey, Bert, look what I've copped, said William. What is it? Said the others, coming up. Lummy if I knows. What are ya? Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit. A hobbit? Said they, a bit startled. What's a hobbit got to do with my pockets anyway? Said William.
And can you cook 'em?
Said Tom. You can try, said Bert. He wouldn't make a mouthful, said William. Not when he was skinned and boned. Perhaps there are more like him about, and we might make a pie, said Bert. Here, you. Any more of you sneaking in these here woods, you nasty little rabbit? Yes, lots, said Bilbo. No, none at all. Not one. What do you mean? Said Bert. What do I say? Said Bilbo, gasping. And please don't cook me, kind sirs. I'm a good cook. I'll cook a perfectly beautiful breakfast for you, if only you won't have me for supper. Poor little blighter, said William. Poor little blighter. Let him go. Not till he says what he means by lots and none at all, said Bert. I don't want to have me throat cut in me sleep. Hold his toes in the fire till he talks. I won't have it, said William. I caught him anyway. You're a fat fool, William, said Bert, as I've said afore this evening. And you're a lout. And I won't take that from you, Bill Huggins, says Bert, and put his fist in William's eye. There was a gorgeous row. Bilbo had just enough wits left when Bert dropped him on the ground to scramble out of the way. Soon the trolls were locked in one another's arms and rolling nearly into the fire, kicking and thumping. Right in the middle of the fight, up came Balin. The dwarves had heard noises from a distance, and after waiting for some time for Bilbo to come back, or to hoot like an owl, they started off one by one to creep towards the light as quietly as they could. No sooner did Tom see Balin come into the light than he gave an awful howl. Bert and Bill stopped fighting immediately. Before Balin knew what was happening, a sack was over his head, and he was down.
There's more to come yet, said Tom, or I'm mighty mistook. Lots and none at all it is, he said. No barrow hobbits, but lots of these here dwarves. Let's get out of the light.
And they did. With sacks in their hands, they waited in the shadows. As each dwarf came up, pop, a nasty, smelly sack went over his head. Soon Dwalin lay by Balin, then Feely and Keely together, then all of them piled in a great heap, uncomfortably near the fire.
That'll teach 'em,
said Tom. A nice pickle they were all in now, all neatly tied up in sacks, with 3 angry trolls arguing whether they should roast them, mince them, boil them, or just sit on them one by one and squash them into jelly. And Bilbo up in a bush, with his clothes and his skin torn, not daring to move for fear they should hear him. It was just then that Gandalf came back. But no one saw him. The trolls had just decided to roast the dwarves now and eat them later. That was Bert's idea, and after a lot of argument, they had all agreed to it. Well, no good roasting them now. It'll take all night, said a voice. Bert thought it was William's. "Don't start the argument all over again, Bill," he said.
"Who's arguing?"
said William, who thought it was Bert that had spoken.
"You are. You're a liar."
And so the argument began all over again.
"No good boiling 'em. We ain't got no water, and it's a long way to the well and all," said a voice. Bert and William thought it was Tom's.
"Shut up,"
they said.
"Shut up yourself."
said Tom, who thought it was William's voice.
"You're a booby."
"Booby yourself."
And so the argument began all over again, and went on hotter than ever, until at last they decided to sit on the sacks one by one and squash them and boil them next time.
"Who shall we sit on first?"
said the voice.
"Better sit on the last fella first."
He thought Tom was talking.
"Don't talk to yourself, but if you want to sit on the last one, sit on him. Which is he?"
"The one with the yellow stockings." "Nonsense. The one with the grey stockings,"
said a voice like William's.
"I made sure it was yellow." "Yellow it was." "Then what did you say it was grey for?" "I never did. Tom said it."
"That I never did. It was you."
2-1, so shut your mouth." "Who are you talking to?"
said William.
"Now stop it,"
said Tom and Bert together.
"The light's getting on and dawn comes early. Let's get on with it." "Dawn take you all and be stoned to you,"
said a voice that sounded like William's, but it wasn't. But just at that moment the light came over the hill, and William never spoke again, for he stood turned to stone as he stooped, and Bert and Tom were stuck like rocks as they looked at him. And there they stand to this day, for trolls must be underground before dawn, or they go back to the stuff of the mountains they are made of, and never move again.